hail-producing storm. So we're going to zoom in on some of these. First of all, severe thunderstorm warning is in effect up in Ripley County. That does include Donovan. Looks like right now the greatest risk for large hail is going to be north of Donovan, but we can't rule out even the possibility of some hail in Donovan. Just the larger amounts will be a little bit farther to the north. Pocahontas right now getting a lot of rain. Wouldn't be surprised to see some hail with that one. Walnut Ridge got the rain coming in there, but the greater hail risk is still going to be down to the southwest. Let's zoom in on Pocahontas, and you can see heavy rain right now, but the hail core has kind of fallen apart. Can we take a look at the Pocahontas weather camera right now? We've got a camera that sits on top of BRTC, and we were seeing the storm structure of this storm pretty good on the Pocahontas camera just a little bit ago, but it looks like that hail shaft fell apart once it started coming in. You can still see some pretty heavy rainfall falling right now as we look out from the rooftop there of BRTC, but I'm not seeing any large hail right now. So that's some good news. Now, if you want to see some pictures of some large hail, we are really seeing some large hail right now pictures coming in out of Lawrence County, but it's kind of isolated in nature of where that is. So Zach's going to continue to watch the Pocahontas camera, even though it does look like that hail core has fallen apart. I noticed in the upper left-hand corner of our screen, the image that we've been showing you on Region 8 News for about an hour and a half now, and that is the shot of the storm from our weather camera at Batesville South Side. And if we could take that camera up full right now, you can see the storm structure that we had for that storm just a little bit ago. Quite impressive. Look at that. You can see that this storm's really been building up. You can see those cumulus clouds, cumulonimbus clouds now really building up with the sun shining. This is the hail-producing storm. Now notice all around it, sunshine, and out ahead of that storm also, the clouds have been sheared apart. So even though the storm is in Lawrence County, I'm pretty sure the clouds are moving all over Greene County and Clay County right now. So this is the storm that is got a new severe thunderstorm warning with it now. Let's go back to radar. New severe thunderstorm warning with this one now. Let me widen out for a second and show you the area that I'm watching now. There's the new severe thunderstorm warning with this one as it moves down to the southeast. And Zach, this, if you connect the dots here, is going to possibly be coming into the Jonesboro area within the next hour or so. Once again, not a tornado warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. But Zach, we got a little appendage on the back side of this that we probably need to watch, don't we?
Yeah, it's been doing that for about probably the past 20, 30 minutes. Rotation really doesn't seem to be wrapping up or anything like that. I think it's really just trying to form that appendage, but it can't really do that. Kind of the storm motion plus the winds at the surface today, they're not that strong. It really has not been a super windy day. So really the tornado threat remains pretty low with this storm, and hail continues to be the main threat right now, though we're going to continue to watch it and see if it does try to wrap up a little bit as it moves deeper and deeper into the Arkansas Delta portions of Region 8.
I tell you what, this thing probably will produce some hail. Now, I'm going to take a vertical slice of the storm right around Lynn. I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing some more hail reports coming out of Lynn. You see that purple area right through here. This storm, now that cap has broken on that storm. If you notice, it's building up to 50,000 feet. So if you notice that pinkish purple area there, that's one hail shaft with this storm right near Lynn, but we've got more of that. I think we've already had some hail reports coming out of Lynn. So Lawrence County right now probably continuing to see that chance of some large hail with this storm. Let me back out on this storm and take a look at radar once again, and you can see that latest, let's see here, let me take that back down. That latest severe thunderstorm.
Quarter-sized hail out of the Lynn area, so that's kind of what that storm's producing at this point near the Lynn community is about quarter-sized hail. So the hail sizes have decreased a little bit, but I mean, the storm, it's got a whole lot of wide open terrain in front of it, so it could be cycling a little bit in the form of the updraft, had the strength of the updraft. So over the next 30 or minutes or so, it's really going to tell us, is the storm going to stay at the current level, or is it going to increase back and start producing that golf ball sized hail we've already got multiple reports of across the Ozarks as that storm's been moving through.
See if Little Rock is saying anything about the appendage on that backside here. I'm going to show something just a second here, and you can see, there's something there. This is using the Memphis radar site. So that little red area you see right through here on Highway 25, that is the wind going away from the storm. And then that bluish area, if you notice here, that's the opposite direction coming toward the storm. So there is some broad rotation there. But as we've been saying, the tornado threat on this is not the greatest threat. And if you see my Twitter feed right now, if you see the post that I've been resharing on my Facebook page, hail has been the #1 threat so far. With that said, we can't take this lightly. We still need to watch this storm. So if there's anything, we're going to be watching through here. But it's still not enough to be too concerned about it just yet. I say that, and then we get a new radar scan.
I've been asking. I'm about to ask again. They've really been focusing on all the hail reports. They really haven't mentioned anything about the rotation on the backside. And again, and from the radar sites, it's still pretty high.
That's pretty far out there.
It's probably sampling the storm a little bit further up than the surface. So there is some hints of rotation, but just not super impressive at this time. Hail continues to be the main threat, though I am going to ask the National Weather Service about that area of rotation.
We've got some spotters. Do we have Aaron Castleberry is out chasing these storms? I know he was around the Walnut Ridge area earlier. If we could, let's check in with him and see. There is a chance if he is up around Walnut Ridge, it'd be nice if we could get him to kind of go on the south side of this storm, and then we can get a look at it to see exactly what it's doing there around the Saffel community. So we're going to watch that. Let me erase everything off of here for just a second. We'll watch that. We're not discounting it just yet. We'll keep an eye on it, but the hail threat is about to come into Minturn and Alicia. This is about to cross over 67, or the old 67 as people call it, or 367. That's a pretty large area of hail. And you said quarter-size hail with this area around Lynn. So that thing means business right now. Let me widen out and give everybody a full perspective. That's not the only storm. We've got some heavy rain going in Randolph County, severe thunderstorm warning in Ripley County. Got a big mess of storms up here to our north. I had someone ask a pretty good question just a minute ago. They said, is what we're seeing on radar right now everything for the night? Not necessarily. It's the strongest part, but you see up here, there are some little showers and storms still developing. And Zach said just a minute ago, Zach, you were talking about storms are still pretty, the front's still pretty far back to the west too, right?
Yeah, into the north as well. That front's actually going to be diving out of Missouri. So storms continue to fire. Now they're less stable air than where the severe storms currently are. So probably not going to see storms like what we're seeing now in portions of Lawrence County, Jackson County develop behind these storms. But we'll still have to watch them and notice maybe even a few storms trying to pop up there deeper into the Ozarks, and those would be south of the area where these storms have moved out of. So we're not done just yet. Even if these storms do move across the river over the next hour or two, we're probably still going to have to be watching storms as we go past sunset and closer to 10 o'clock midnight before the threat officially starts to wrap up.
And I'm retweeting some of these pictures and just trying to get an idea of exactly what kind of hail this storm is putting down right now. And I see now the pictures that you were showing just a minute ago of the quarter-size hail that we were getting in the Lynn area. Has the Weather Service said much more about this storm just yet? Boy, there are a lot of hail reports coming in.
Yes, a lot of hail reports, and now they've kind of started noticing all the storms trying to pop up in other locations as well. So, my message finally went through there, asking about that storm there in southwestern portions of Lawrence County. But really, hail, the main threat with that, if we want to switch to Max 2 and kind of zoom in on that storm has moved out of Lynn, now moving towards Alicia. So Alicia, between Minturn and Alicia there, along the old Highway 67, that's where that hail is going to be impacting next. And then we still have that appendage to the back. Still not super impressive, but we're watching it. We know it's there. But right now, hail continues to be the main threat of that storm as it pushes off to the east. Even further upstream, after it crosses the old Highway 67, it'll cross the new portion of the Highway 67 and then kind of go towards Bono. So anywhere from Egypt to Bono with the west side area and the western portions of Craighead County, or I guess northwestern portions of Craighead County, and then eventually the Jonesboro community of the city as that storm continues to move off to the east. And even here at the station, could see a little bit of hail if that storm does not weaken over the next 30 minutes or so. It's still moving to the east at about 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour. And so that hail core still going to be about Egypt, about 7:30ish. And then once you get towards the Bono area, probably a little bit further than, probably a little bit past 7:30, so 7:40ish. And then Jonesboro, probably around 8 o'clock. If I just had to kind of just give an assumption or guess on the timing of that, probably around 8 o'clock is when this storm will start rolling into Jonesboro, at least the core of this storm, so the most powerful part of this storm. You'll probably see rain and clouds and lightning kind of pick up before that, but as far as hail potential, probably closer around 8 o'clock. So that does give you time, gives you about an hour to maybe put the cars in the garage, put them under an awning, because the hail right now, it's quarter size. That can do a little bit of damage, but if it gets any bigger than that, that's going to put some dents in the car hood or anything you have outside. So you got about an hour in the Jonesboro area to kind of prepare, get everything inside the garage, and anything you don't want to get hit by hail as that storm continues to move towards Jonesboro. Because I really don't see that storm missing the Jonesboro area. It may weaken, but I really think Jonesboro is going to see this storm kind of move right over the city.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Now, whether it hits right in Jonesboro or not, now, once again, when I say hits Jonesboro, it's something we probably I need to use a different term here. We're not talking about a tornadic storm right now, but that hail core is really starting to come back together once again, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and the storms to the north of that, this has been the dominant storm. So if we kind of go back and over the past maybe hour or so, you'll see the storm just split multiple times, and so and then storms kind of go farther to the north. So that southern storm is the strongest, and that's the most severe storm. Notice the storm that moved through Pocahontas. It's really not looking as impressive. That hail core kind of collapsed. It did produce some larger hail near Ravenden, but as it moved through the Pocahontas area, didn't really see a whole lot of hail with that in the Pocahontas area, at least reports so far. So the farthest southern storm is the one we really need to watch. And then they just issued that severe thunderstorm warning now past Pocahontas. So still some small hail possible, probably quarter-sized hail. That hail core is not looking super impressive. Or if we turn on velocity, we may be seeing a little bit of wind kind of push out from that as it kind of collapses a little bit. Maybe some stronger winds. I don't know how strong, probably not super strong, but you'll probably notice it. The wind pick up a little bit there in portions of Randolph County, moving towards O'Kane, and then towards Beech Grove eventually as it pushes further and further east into Greene County. But that strongest storm still continues to be in southern Lawrence County and then heading into northeastern portions of Jackson County, and then eventually into western Craighead County, where the hail threat is still the strongest with that storm.
I'm continuing to retweet some pictures coming in out of Lynn, larger than golf balls right now. And in fact, in the back, if y'all don't mind, here in a minute, just tell me when it's ready. I'm going to show some of those pictures that we are getting in on social media also. But we've got meteorologist Aaron Castleberry, who's been out in this storm. And I don't know exactly where he is right now. But Aaron, I'm not sure if you can hear us or if you can talk to us. Just kind of give us an idea of what you're seeing.
Well, right now I'm on Highway 367, just outside of Hoxie, driving towards Minturn right now. Really, the rain isn't too bad right now. I'm looking back off towards the west, and I can't really see anything back there right now. I'm still coming across some of these some trees right now. Rain's not too bad at the moment, but right now, still looking off towards the west. It's kind of hard to see the storm because it's building up so high. The sun's shining through, but really right now I can't really tell anything going on. As I head south towards Minturn, I'm going to be in a better position as I get towards Minturn here in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, so we're going to wait for Aaron to get a little closer into that storm. Stay safe with that one. He is kind of tracking this storm here, and really we probably need to just kind of hang out in the Jonesboro area. Let's just talk with each other for a minute. Last Saturday, we had a tornado come through the middle of Jonesboro. And I know that the anxiety is high. People have told me that they're panicking over this. Let's just be smart about it. We're keeping you up to date with the latest information. I'll tell you right now, the tornado threat is low. Hail is going to be the main threat. So we're talking loud storms. We're talking a lot of lightning with these storms also. Let me show you what this storm has been doing so far. My Twitter feed has been showing a lot of large hail. Take a look at this one here. That is, let's see, that's compared to a penny there. I would say that's at the probably larger than golf ball. So that's going to be causing some significant damage. There's another look at it there, and you can kind of get an idea if you just kind of look down at your hand, average hand there, just showing you the size of the hailstones that are coming through right now. So this is the type of storm that we are dealing with right now. These are the type of pictures that we are getting in from this storm as it's been coming out of Sharp County, going into Lawrence County, and that hail core on that storm is still looking very, very healthy right now. So this is what we've got to kind of prepare for. We're watching for the threat of tornadoes. We're going to watch that. We're going to, if anything changes on that, we're going to be keeping you up to date. We're going to be looking at the weather cameras on this. But our number one thing right now is going to be the hail. Interesting radar feature right now. See this pink area here? That is the hail core. Let me stop this just a second.
Hey, Ron, we actually got a report from a trained spotter. We have baseball-sized hail falling in Strawberry.
Woo! Baseball-sized hail right here. Let me show you something with radar. Radar sends out a beam. It hits the precipitation, the rain, the hail, whatever, and comes back and sends a signal. There's an interesting feature showing up on radar right now, and it's something that you may not even notice, and it's that little thing right there. What that is doing is the radar beam is hitting the hail, and it is then sending the signal back down to the ground, back up to the hail, and then just a little bit of that energy back to the radar site. What radar does is it says, okay, this is 70 miles from there, it's this intense, painted on a map. And that's where you get this right here. But if it starts hitting large hail and then bouncing onto the ground and some of that energy bounces back up and then it goes back to the radar, it says, okay, it's a little farther than that and it's just a little bit of energy. We see that right there. That is an indication on radar that we have large hail right now, and that's called a three-body scatter spike. So whenever you see that in radar and it lines right up with the radar site and that little pink area there, we have some large hail that is coming into Alicia right now. Large hail, just based on that little bitty thing right there. So new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. That's going to go into Craighead County. That is going to probably include Bono, probably not all the way into Jonesboro just yet. The big question now is that going to slide south of Jonesboro, or is that going to come right in? I tell you what, where was Aaron just now?
I think it was near Minturn. So I think it was driving either on the new Highway 67 or the old Highway 67. So he should be getting pretty close. I heard rain, so I think he's getting close to that hail core. So hopefully he doesn't drive into it, because that's going to be some large hail there. But it looks like it's making even further of a right turn, so maybe even Swifton area towards the Cache area. So Egypt, Cache, Swifton all need to, especially Alicia, really need to pay attention to this storm, because baseball-sized hail, that's going to break some windows at the right angle. That's going to cause some dents on car hoods. So that's some serious hail. Once you start getting, tennis ball is pretty serious, but once you get up to baseball and higher than that, that's when you could really see some significant damage from hail. At that size.
I tell you what, we're going to make a call here in just a minute, just so I'm giving the folks in the back a heads up also. If this hail core continues moving on, we're going to break into over the air also on KAIT. Right now we're on the app, we're on Facebook, but if this continues on putting baseball-sized hail down, I know that kind of goes, we usually would just go wall-to-wall for tornado warnings. Baseball-sized hail is significant. And let me just look at this storm right now. I'm a little worried about the rotation still also.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's trying. It's definitely trying to wrap up, and it looks a little bit stronger than original.
Right there.
Originally. I'll ask again in the chat again. They've been busy.
I tell you, anytime a storm is strong enough to produce baseball-sized hail, it gets my attention. And so we're watching the hail. The hail is right here at this part of the storm. right there. That's moving down to the southeast. Egypt, maybe Cache. Here on the right side of the screen is Bono and West Side Schools. We got to watch this. It's right there on the Jackson County, Lawrence County line. Not enough to probably issue a warning just yet, but definitely something that bears watching. Let me show you what radar is looking like now. So here is your hail core. It's about to cross over the old Highway 67, 367 there. Guys, if we could get back in with Aaron, I want to make sure that Aaron's not just getting pelted right now. Baseball size hail, that would be if he's driving.
He just texted me, said he's between Alicia and Minturn, and he's pulled over. So,
see on 367?
Probably if he's in between Alicia and Minturn. I don't think he'd be on the interstate quality highway. I think he's on the old 2-lane. So he should be just north of that hill core, but he's probably in some quarter-sized hail maybe, and maybe even some heavy rain.
I'll tell you this, they just said in my ear that we don't have audio from Aaron. If we've got video, so he's somewhere in here, I wouldn't mind just seeing what he's seeing right now. So I'm not sure. There we go. Well, he must be on.
Yeah, he's on the old Highway 67.
Hey, Aaron, where are you right now?
I am just south of Minturn right now, between Minturn and Alicia on 367, looking back towards Alicia.
The end of the road there.
The rain right now is a lot. Yeah, I've pulled over here. I haven't made it into Alicia. I'm letting the storm move just a little bit past Alicia before I start driving back into it. But the rain between Alicia and Minturn is not too heavy, but it's pretty dark as you look back towards Alicia right now. I can't really tell anything else than just the rain right now, but I'm pulled over, going to let the storm move by for another couple of minutes before I head more towards Alicia. I don't want to drive into this hail just yet.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Aaron, if you haven't been hearing us, we've had reports of baseball-sized hail probably falling just to your south right now.
Yeah, and as soon as this moves through, I want to get into Alicia just to see what kind of hail is falling, because if it's that big, it'll still be on the ground if I get to town. It's not but 4 or 5 miles south of where I am right now.
All right, so once again, Aaron Castleberry, he's there just sitting north of the storm. Him and I talked this morning about how we didn't really want to storm chase these storms. We don't want to get into the hail and tear up a car. So he's sitting right here. He's going to let this pink area kind of slide down to the south and then go down into here and see if there's any hail damage. And probably we'll still see some hail on the ground. So let me widen out, kind of give everybody a perspective right now. As I said, we may go live on KAIT here in a minute also. Typically, we reserve that for wall-to-wall tornado warning coverage. But this thing, baseball-size hail, that's big time. Let's start at the top of this and just go south. We've got severe thunderstorm warning that is west of Poplar Bluff right now. That's coming into Poplar Bluff. Haven't had many reports come out of that yet. Heavy rain around Corning, but that's not severe. We've got heavy rain going into Greene County right now, and they have not extended that warning into Greene County. So Highway 90, some very heavy rain, maybe some pea to nickel size hail right now. Probably have an advisory out for that one. Paragould, you've got rain to the west, but this cell may slide north, and this cell may slide to the south of you. Jonesboro, we're watching you closely right now. There's a live look right now on Paragould. By the way, I've got a lot of Mammatus Clouds pictures coming in just a little bit ago. If you take that Paragould camera up full, wicked looking sky. I mean, a wild looking sky right now. But it looks like Paragould may just get a little bit of rain out of this and have the storm pass to the north, excuse me, and then pass down to the south. You getting anything from the Weather Service or anything over there right now?
Just that they issued that severe thunderstorm warning to kind of clean up that polygon a little bit I guess that'd be Memphis that did that for portions of Craighead County down into Poinsett County. So now parts of Jonesboro, the extreme western side of Jonesboro, is now officially under a severe thunderstorm warning for that storm. But the hail core is still back on the other side of Highway 67, so still probably about 45 minutes away or so from starting to get close to the Jonesboro area. All
right, so we're now starting to get 1-inch hail 3 miles west-northwest of Egypt right now. Let's go back into this storm. And I'm going to zoom into this and take a look at that hail coming in. We may luck out and get this thing to weaken right before it comes into some populated areas, but still some really large hail right now. It looks like what happened is that hail core built up and dumped it all down, probably between Lynn and Strawberry. But that 1-inch hail report just kind of came out of the Egypt area. Our next camera, what camera would we be seeing this? So there's Walnut Ridge. That's here looking south into this storm. And you can see it building up right there. That's kind of the back side of the storm. We're looking west on that. We're seeing the back side of that storm. Be interesting to see if the core of this storm goes over any of our cameras. But, I mean, even having Castleberry out there right now, he's going to give us a pretty good report here once that slides a little bit more to the east. So once again, large hail is why we have the severe thunderstorm warning right now. It does include parts of the Jonesboro area, especially as you head out past Joe Mack. Right here, that's where Joe Mack is. So if you know where that is, back to around Westside Schools area and over toward Egypt. Take a live look right now at that storm has been on the Batesville Southside camera there in the upper left-hand corner of your screen for some time now. Just putting on a show. I mean, that thing is sitting out there, clear skies around it, sun shining on it. That is just a monster supercell that has been putting down as high as baseball-size hail. That is the type of supercell that you would see at the end of spring, first part of summer. But I mean, with temperatures like we had today, it had a ton of fuel to work with. I think at one time I saw a 90-degree temperature, didn't I, over and around Mountain
especially the humidity had dropped really far compared to what we were seeing here in the Ozarks. So we had a couple 90, 91-degree temperatures there across the heart of the Ozarks.
Look at that.
I've been kind of saying to a few friends today, meteorology friends, this is like a late May type of setup rather than the beginning of April, with just the cold front coming through and the threat being hail, especially with how high these storms are building up. It's very similar to what we saw in Texas usually in the month of May and early June, with these slowish moving storms with building up really high. You can see them for miles. And we really haven't had much other cloud cover, which has helped us see this storm from so many different vantage points across Region 8. So still watching the storm move into the Craighead area now, and that rotation's still on the backside, but I think hail still probably, even though that hail core is not as impressive as it was earlier, I still think it can build back up to be impressive as it moves towards the Egypt area, Cache, Swifton. I think it'll go just north of you, but it's going to be very, very close as it moves kind of crosses Highway 367 between Alicia and Swifton and then down towards the Cache area. But even the west side area, already starting to see some heavy rainfall. Can't rule out some small quarter-sized hail, dime-sized hail over the next 10, 20 minutes as the storm pushes in a little bit more. Bono even could see some small hail. And then as the storm continues to move in, heavy rain into the Jonesboro area. In fact, it's probably raining a little bit here at the station, at least a few sprinkles with the rain picking up the closer you get to Bono. So you're going to see the rain first in the Jonesboro area, probably hear the lightning. That's not the severe part of this storm. Once you go back between Egypt, Alicia, Swifton area, even back even farther west, that's where you find the severe hail and maybe some breezy winds with it as well in that area of broad rotation that's been trying to form. But still, we've got a lot of eyes on this storm. I think if it was going to produce something tornadic, I think we'd have some signs of that from people on the ground, because I think just seeing from Twitter, we've gotten a lot of reports of people kind of right there at the base of this storm.
Yeah, I've got, in fact, I've got one of the folks that follows us on Twitter and we chat with throughout, when it's calm weather, is right there by the storm and just sent me a picture of there's a little bit of a lowering around Swifton, but nothing to be concerned with. Look at that, though. That's looking out from Jonesboro right now. We're looking out from the rooftop of First National Bank, and you can see the clear sky there on the left. You can see the storm coming in from the west right now. We're definitely going to get some rain in Jonesboro. That is definite. We will probably see at least some small hail in Jonesboro. Hopefully a lot of those roofs are at least covered up. I talked with a roofer today. It said that they were just working as hard as they can, getting a lot of this in and fixed and patched up before the storm came in, because we're definitely going to see rain. Here's Jonesboro. Here's the heavy rain going all the way back to Egypt. I tell you what, if that thing is still putting down large hail around Alicia, it has been hailing for about 15 minutes now. So if there's going to be some car and roof damage and things like that, it's going to be Alicia over to Lynn. Lynn, we had that hail report. I think Strawberry's through here also. Alicia, seeing that. One thing it looks like now, looks like the hail core is probably going to slide south of Jonesboro. Can't guarantee that just yet, but it looks like the hail core is going to slide south.
At least the worst part of the hail core. You still may get some quarter-sized, dime-sized hail as far east as the Jonesboro area, and even north of Jonesboro here at the station. But that hail core, that strongest part of the storm where the updraft is, just now crossing Highway 367 back off to the west, and it is sliding more south-southeast rather than due east like it was. So usually once they split a couple times, like we talked about earlier, that's when you see the storm motion on this far southern storm change even more, and so it'll make another right turn. So it's now moving almost due south, southeast there, instead of east like it was 30 minutes ago.
So I said just a little bit ago, Paragould looked like you were going to miss a lot of the rain, but now it's kind of back building down to the south. So not a severe thunderstorm warning with this. You can see the lightning with it. It's going to bring some heavy rain to places like Leif and Marmaduke, Halliday, probably over to Mounds. Probably see a little bit of rain coming through Paragould on the tail end of that. Still, the storm of the hour is still going to be this one, and it is still showing a big-time hail core right there at Alicia, and that's going to come probably somewhere between Cache and Egypt. And it might, if it starts going more east, might go into the Valley View area. We'll have to watch and see how that all unfolds. Now, do we have Aaron Castleberry right now? Hey, Aaron, where are you? What are you seeing now?
Right now, I am just north of Alicia, and I'm on the edge of this hail core because I'm getting just a little bit of hail, not too big on the north side here. But if you take a look, this is looking back into Alicia, and you cannot see.
Oh, that is some hail falling.
So there is a little bit of hail falling in this storm, and a lot of people are still driving towards Alicia right now.
Oh, man. I tell you, if anybody's listening to us on the radio or something like that, don't drive into that storm by Alicia. You will tear up a car.
And even just on the north side of the storm right now, it's pea-sized hail at the most on the north side, but I can only imagine what it's like in Alicia, and especially between Alicia and Swifton right now. Just looking at the radar, and then just seeing the small chunks of hail that's falling on the very edge of that hail core.
All right, I appreciate that, Aaron. Keep watching it. Once again, our game plan, Castleberry's sitting right here. And so he's kind of letting that hail core, which you see there in the pink, slide by. He'll come down here and see if we've got hail on the ground and see exactly what size hail we're dealing with, because that's coming toward Cache. It's just holding together. In fact, it looks like it's building up a hail core again, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely near Alicia. Anytime the pink kind of comes back, that's the first signs that updraft is finished. It's when we say cycling, we can use that in many different terms. We used it with the storm earlier a couple weeks ago with the Jonesboro storm, but we can also mean that with hail as well. And so anytime you see those pinks kind of disappear, that means the storm dropped the hail that it was holding, and then you'll start to see that pink come back. That's indication that storm's kind of ramping back up, and the updraft's a little bit stronger, and you'll start to see that hail start to be bigger again. So even towards the Egypt area, Cache, probably some larger hail probably trying to form and could fall there as it moves towards Highway 226.
All right, so we're going to continue watching that. Castleberry's going to continue to keep us updated. I haven't had the golf ball to baseball size hail reports in about 15 minutes now. So once he gets down into there, we should get a better look. Let's see. Let's see if I got any more pictures. Get just a lot of pictures continue from the Lynn community and the Strawberry community. Trying to see what else I got. I'm just looking at some of the pictures that you guys are sending us on Twitter. And having spotters out there, I'm not worried about, even though, despite seeing certain little anomalies on radar, I'm not worried about a tornado on this one because we've got so many eyeballs on it right now, and it's just not everything's lining up with it right now.
Mm-hmm. And even with the storm further north, I don't know if you've seen that picture from Rodney Hampton, west of Marmaduke. He does have a picture of a wall cloud, but it kind of just looks like I don't think it's a rotating wall cloud. So been kind of scanning up there every once in a while on velocity. Don't think there's an imminent threat there, but there is pretty impressive storm structure there west of Marmaduke with that storm. Even though it's not quite as strong, that's a severe storm that kind of moved out of the Randolph County area. So still keeping our eye on that storm as well, but mainly just heavy rain, lightning, and probably some dime-sized hail if there is any hail falling with that storm.
Looking to see if there's any other pictures or anything that we missed on social media. I said this earlier. We had a lot of mammatus clouds being sent in. Just, whoo, man. Somebody just showed pictures of between Jessup and Strawberry. I'm going to share these to my Facebook page. Not sure if we can bring it up. That's probably the largest hail that I've seen so far. And this is definitely baseball, if not a little bit larger than that. And hold on, there's another one here. Although that's an old picture. But definitely baseball size hail coming in. So once again, we're watching the Walnut Ridge camera there. That's the storm. If we could shift that camera around when you get a chance. Yeah. We're seeing the sun peek out there, but we're kind of the left side there is where the storm is with this one. You can see the streets are wet there in Walnut Ridge, but the sun is starting to come back out. Later on tonight, the cooler air will start coming in. Now that's looking back towards the storm that is producing hail. And in just a minute, we're going to check back with Castleberry. You've got a new tornado watch now, right?
Yes, we do have a new tornado watch. They've expanded it. Now includes Craighead County. It includes portions of Poinsett County. It includes all of Poinsett County, pretty much down to Cross, Crittenden, and then back up to the north. So previously, I guess that'd be Craighead, Mississippi, Poinsett, Cross, and Crittenden now added to that tornado watch, and that one goes until midnight as well, I believe. So the storms are kind of dipping a little bit further south, at least that one storm was, and that one goes until 2 a.m. So, and that's mainly just for across the river in western Tennessee. So what would happen if storms kind of die down, these storms move out, they'd probably cancel that watch a little bit earlier. So I don't think that watch is going to stay till 2 a.m., but that new watch goes until 2 a.m. for Mississippi, Crittenden, Cross, Poinsett, Craighead County, and then we still have the other one for our southern Missouri counties and our north, that first couple rows of our Arkansas counties until midnight tonight.
All right, let me show you guys once again. There's that rotation we're still watching by Swifton. It's pretty pronounced, but we've got spotters all around it. It's still a pretty broad rotation, hasn't tightened up, but we're going to watch it. You know, if we didn't have spotters, literally, we've got trained storm spotters all around this thing right now. So, you know, we're watching it. If anything changes with it, the best tools that we have are eyes, and they are on the storm right now. So that area is going to cross 226. There are chasers out there watching it. And the good thing is it's going to be sliding south of 226, and that will allow them to continue to watch it also. So we're watching that part of it as well. Click back on here. Still seeing the hail core. Now it's about to cross over the new 67. Castleberry should be able to get down to Alicia now. Is he still there? Hey, Aaron, if you're not driving, I don't know if you're driving or if you can talk to us or not right now. What are you seeing?
Yeah, right now I'm in Alicia. I'm underneath an awning here at a gas station here in Alicia. It had just a little bit of hail just a little bit ago, but this is, if you look, this is looking back towards Swifton right now. And here's the back of the storm. You can see that behind the storm's now starting to move out towards the west, but if you look back towards Alicia, back towards Swifton, it is a nasty storm. About a mile down the road, you could probably usually see just for days out here on these farmland, but you can't see half a mile. I haven't seen too much hail here in Alicia. I don't see any hail on the ground or anything. So that's some good news. It may just be a little bit south of Alicia, back towards the south side of town and back towards the Lawrence-Jackson County line. But take a look. This is the storm as it's now moving towards the east. pretty good, pretty cool
That's a wild looking
cloud
shot, Aaron.
formations. Nothing rotating. I don't see any rotation in this storm right now. So that's also some good news, but just that updraft, you can feel the wind going into the storm every once in a while. It's cooled off here, but if there's any bigger hail, it'll be south of Alicia right now. I think here in Alicia, they didn't get the big hail because I don't see anything on the ground. Usually if you have baseball or baseball, golf ball size hail, you still have a little bit of a remnant as you come into town because that just moved through. But I don't see any of that, but there is a little bit of lightning. That storm is now moving towards the east, and the rain's starting to die down here in Alicia too.
All right, so once again, Castleberry's right here. Hail shaft has just now moved into the western parts of Craighead County. That's going to be crossing over 226 here shortly. So, all right, appreciate that, Aaron. Continue to keep us updated there. It's good to have eyes on the storm. Amazing how fast it clears out after the storm comes through. He was already seeing clear skies on the back side of that storm. We were going back and forth on whether we were going to go break into regular programming or not, but I think we're good right now, especially if he had pulled up and seen baseball-size hail still sitting on the ground, I think we would have broken in. So we're just going to continue our game plan right now, which is to not interrupt your programming. I'm sure what's on television up there, and just kind of continue to keep you updated on our app. I think right now you can watch us on the app. You can watch us on KAIT. You can watch, or not KAIT, KAIT8.com, and on Facebook right now. So if you know people in Egypt or Cache or maybe just down to the southwest of Jonesboro and you want to share that with them, we'll continue kind of watching this storm right now. So Jonesboro seeing some rain. Chance of hail is to the west right now. It's coming into the western parts of the county. Want to give a big wide perspective real fast of everything so we're not leaving anybody out because we do have some heavy rain. It's going through parts of Clay County. We got some heavy rain in Randolph County, some spotty showers as you go into parts of Oregon County and into Howell County. But this is just rain, just plain old rain right now going through Greene County, Clay County. It's getting pretty heavy right now in Randolph County. If that picks up any more, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe another warning come out from this stuff. But hopefully this stuff starts to wind down just a little bit. Right now this storm here is still kicking pretty good. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Craighead County for the next little bit. And chances are they're going to extend this down also because this storm really not losing its strength any. They're watching this. They commented that rotation sitting there about 6,700 feet up in the atmosphere. They're watching it. We're watching it. We've got eyes on the storm, so not worried about it just yet. And then there's a live look right now from our camera, which was just such a valuable tool last Saturday. I mean, getting a look at the storm is so valuable. So we appreciate those things. I go and speak to thousands of kids every year, and I tell them the best tool we have isn't the satellites, it's not these radars, it's not anything like that. It's our eyes. And we can either be there like Castleberry's there right now, or we can see it with the weather cameras, and that's why we try to have weather cameras all over the place to keep an eye on this one. So with this storm there, that's Pocahontas right now, and that's looking back to the west where some of those storms are redeveloping with the sun hitting the side of those showers. That's a nice looking sunset right now. You can say that when there's not severe weather right now going on, but once again, I keep saying this little area right here just continues to need to be watched.
Yeah, and I think those brighter colors, I think that's a little bit of silo contamination. So I think it's making it look a little bit worse than it actually is. And it's not really on center where you would get that rotation or tornado to form. So I think that's just a little bit of radar contamination, makes it look worse than it is. But still some broad rotation, definitely worth watching. But still, probably some heavy rain, lightning, and still some smaller hail mixed in with there. That's probably the main threats with that storm. at this time as it moves towards Cache. Egypt probably seeing some heavy rain, maybe up to dime, quarter-sized tail. And then Jonesboro, rain's kind of starting to pick up now for that area. That is a tornado warning, Ryan? They just issued that tornado warning there for the back end of that system. I don't know if they have a report. Let me dive into chat real quick and see if they've gotten a report.
All right, guys. Let's just take it serious for just for a minute. We'll see what the Weather Service in Memphis is going to do with this also. But a newly issued tornado warning is now in effect. Guys, let's go back. Let's get on air on KAIT. If you don't mind, let's fade to black, and then we'll come back up and we'll be on KAIT. You may just a little. Good evening, everyone. We have been following storms throughout the evening on the Region 8 News app, and we have also been on live Facebook. We took a break for just a second. Now joining in, breaking into regular programming on KAIT for a newly issued tornado warning for the backside of this storm system here, just down to the southeast of Swifton. Now, let me explain to you what's going on here. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning here, which includes Craighead County. We've got a tornado warning here. And you may be wondering, okay, well, what's going on right here? Well, this is the Memphis National Weather Service. They issue warnings here. They've had a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Tornado warning is in effect for the backside of this. And let me show you why they're doing this. If you look at the wind within the storm, and it has tightened up a little bit, they're worried about this little area right there. Now, we have storm spotters that are near this storm. I'm going to check in with them here in just a second. We're going to check in with Zach also. Zach is over there talking with the Weather Service, checking in on reports. But right here near County Road 74, this is the new 67 here. So let me kind of give you an idea of where we are. So this is 226 that comes from Jonesboro. You've got the little shop building that sits here, and you take that big loop around and go down 67. Well, if you were coming out of Jonesboro, take that big loop around, you start heading down 67. That area there is what we're worried about. If you didn't get on 67 and you kept on going straight and you went and tied into the old 67, that would be the area that they're concerned with right now. We have spotters there right now.
And Ryan, they just extended that warning now to include parts of the Jonesboro area. So if I can zoom out for you.
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
So they have included that. It's the western edge, so it's not all of Jonesboro, and that rotation is still a ways away from Jonesboro. So just an area of broad rotation they're watching right there at the intersection of 226 and the Highway 67. So the big loop you take to get on the highway to go to Little Rock, that's kind of where that area is. And then it'll be moving towards the Cache area and kind of southwest of the Jonesboro area. So even though parts of Jonesboro underneath that tornado warning, we'll have to watch it as it continues to slowly move off to the east-southeast, and still some broad rotation with that. I have not seen any about a rotating wall cloud is the only reports I've gotten so far out of that area. So this is just a tornado possible. This is not a confirmed tornado, but we'll continue to monitor that area of rotation as it moves deeper into Craighead County.
Yeah, and then once again, as Zach was just saying, this is not a confirmed tornado. We are still not at the level we were last Saturday. This is a warning. They're seeing this rotation on radar. This is something we've been talking about for the past hour or so. Is that storm is rotating? It lowered down just enough for them to worry about it. Let's get Castleberry on the line. Just a little bit ago, Aaron was here. He can quickly go down here, safely get on the backside of this storm and give us continuous updates to where we can not only inform you, but hopefully, if nothing is there, to also ease your fears and ease your panic. There are a lot of times when a tornado warning is issued and nothing happens. Let's hope that is the case right now. This is 226. Once again, as Zach was just saying, right where you take that big loop down and you start heading down to Little Rock. That's the area that we're talking about. That's moving down to the southeast, so it's going to cross over Highway 18 here shortly, very close to the Cache community. Okay. Can Aaron hear me right now?
Yes, I can, Ryan.
Okay, so Aaron, we've got tornado warning kind of for the area where the new 67 meets up with 226. Are you close enough to get a vantage point to that yet?
Yeah, right now I'm in Swift. I'm on 367 at the Dollar General in Swift and looking back towards the south, back towards the east. I don't see a lowering, and I don't really see any rotation right now. But I'm also got some trees that are obscuring me right now. I'm gonna get back in the car and head back towards south to where it connects back to 226.
All right.
And try to look back towards that way, but I don't see any rotation. I don't see a lowering right now, and I'm here in Swifton, just off of 367.
All right, I tell you what, Aaron. Here's what you ought to do. Head down to 226, take a left, and you should be able to safely get on the back side of that, and we'll check in with you here in just a little bit. Once again, this is the area that we're watching. The area of concern has crossed over the new 67. It's crossing over, let me zoom in just a little bit and see what highway that is going to be southwest of Cache. Let's zoom in actually that's not going to be, is that going to be the Cache River there?
Yes, that is the Cache River.
Okay, so it's going to be coming County Road 100, County Road 271, 264. Here is Cache right here. It's probably far enough west and sliding down to south that this may be sliding south, this risk south of Cache, but coming very close to the Risher community. We're going to watch that. We've got eyes all over that storm, so it is not producing a tornado right now because I feel pretty confident that we would hear it. Newly issued severe thunderstorm warning now. So while we have you here on KAIT on Facebook and on our app, I want to update you on everything. We got some rain in Walnut Ridge. We got some rain in Pocahontas. We got severe thunderstorm warning right now in Paragould, and then we've got the tornado warning, which is just to the west of Jonesboro. Jonesboro. We've done this a couple times. Let's chat for just a minute. This is not what we had last Saturday. It is a tornado warning west of you right now. We do not have a confirmed tornado yet. The Weather Service concerned with the rotation they're seeing. We were concerned with it also. We've been kind of watching that as well, and it tightened up enough to where they're worried about it. They want to just err on the side of caution, make sure everybody's watching this storm right there where 226 and 67 meet up. We have tons of eyes on that storm. Castleberry's coming in on the back side of it. If it does produce a tornado, we're going to be able to show that to you and pass that information along. And there's a live look right now at our weather camera in Jonesboro, looking out. The rain is coming in, but I just want to ease some fears a little bit also. There's a live look looking out from First National Bank. We're looking fine right now. We've got some heavy rain. However, if you're in the western parts of Craighead County, I'm talking about over here by the Risher community, Cache, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. Let's treat this with respect. We're watching it. We do not have a confirmed tornado, but if you're in that area, take the precautions. Put as many walls in between you and the outside and get into the lowest level of whatever home that you are in. Any new information, Zach?
No, not from the National Weather Service, other than that report of that rotating wall cloud, which is I think is why they issued that tornado warning, because the rotation looked a little bit about the same as it did earlier before the warning, but I think with that train spotter somewhere near Swifton saying that he saw a lowering there, I think they went ahead and issued a tornado warning just to be safe. And it does look impressive on radar. It does look like it's going to try to wrap up, but still a possible tornado. It's not a confirmed tornado. Hail, I think, still continues to be the greatest threat with this storm at the present moment. Now that could change if that storm continues to wrap up. And notice if we go to max 2, notice that those brighter colors that we were seeing earlier, those blues, if I go backwards right there, you see those brighter colors kind of pop up, they've disappeared. So what happened is I still think that was sidelobe contamination, but as the storm moves a little bit closer to the radar site, the radar is going to be able to see that a little bit better. So I think that's the rotation we've been seeing all along. It's just with people underneath the storm now, we've kind of got a better idea what's going on, and the National Weather Service decided that they needed to go ahead and just issue a tornado warning just in case it did produce one as it moves towards Cache. So that's going to be right there at the intersection. You've got the Jordans there on the newer part of 226 that goes around Cache. Used to, it was a two-way highway. They went right in the middle of Cache. I think it was a four-way stop. Now you've got that bypass on the south side where the Jordans is, and then you turn left to go on 18 down towards the Fisher area, and then, the Risher area and towards the Riggs area. So that used to be the way you went to Newport before 226 was built into a four-lane divided highway. So that's where that area of rotation is, back towards the intersection with Highway 67. So the big loop you take to get on the highway to Little Rock. That's where we're watching. It's still some broad rotation, Ryan. You can tell me if you disagree with me, but it still looks pretty broad. New radar scan there. It shows signs. I mean, it's still showing signs that we need to watch it, that it could tighten up, but it still looks pretty broad. And we have people there who can kind of tell us what they're seeing on the ground level, and so far have not seen any reports. Of the tornado with that stored.
What we do have reports of, if in a minute, give you guys a minute to do this, is my Twitter feed. Michael Pankey just now sent a picture of the funnel, is what we're looking at here. He is a trained spotter and said that a pretty low-hanging funnel right now just to the west of Cache. So there it is right there. He said that was rotating, and it looks like, so there's the highway there looking just to the west of Cache, and you can see that lowering there, and that is what we're seeing on radar. So it's not reached the ground. We're still good on that. As I said, we have several spotters out there right now watching this. Tornado sirens are going off in the Swifton area right now, and they should be. We do have a tornado warning right now just because it is not producing a tornado just yet. That is signs that we do have something there. It's not producing a tornado. We have storm spotters on it. And I'm confident in the fact that if it does start doing anything at all, we're going to quickly get word about it. We have storm spotters circling that entire thing right now, watching it. So if anything changes on it. Now, Jonesboro proper, this is not going to mess with you. You've got some rain, you've got some lightning coming through right now, but this is not going to bring rotation into Jonesboro right now. Also, severe thunderstorm warning continues in Greene County. I have not seen anything of concern up there for anything tornadic in the Paragould area. Gusty winds, maybe the possibility of hail, and wow, just a wicked looking sky cam right there. Take a look at the weather camera right now looking in Paragould as the lights get a little darker there, and you can see the heavy rain there in the distance also. If we go back to radar, you can see it's not raining right now in Paragould, but if you notice, very heavy rain just to the north there. And I guess we were seeing that heavy rain over in Walnut Ridge is what we were. I tell you what, that thing is, that hook right there, that's what we're worried about. That is, I will say, here's Jonesboro, guys. This is going to go south. This is going to go through here. So we're not overly concerned with it hitting the same locations again. But let me show you something. See this hook? When we say hook, that's what we're talking about right there. This is the inflow coming into this storm right through here, and that's kind of wrapping up there. And if you look at the wind within the storm, that's what we're seeing. Anything new over there? Getting small hail reported out of Marmaduke.
Ryan, the way that's wrapping up, I wouldn't, with the picture we had earlier, already with that funnel formed, and now you've got that hook a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't already produced, we may be getting pretty close. That's just me kind of studying radar over the years, especially with a picture of that tornado, or that funnel cloud earlier with the rotation still a little bit more broad, with that tightening up. And yes, just got a tweet actually. Someone saying they do see a tornado on the ground. That's not confirmed. That's just a Twitter report, but we're just kind of watching that area closely. And since we had that funnel that was already on camera, and before the rotation kind of increased a little bit there with that latest scan, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not had produced a tornado. It's going to be pretty close to it there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Maybe. Tell you what, we've got another storm spotter that sits down in this area also that hopefully He tweets me an update here in just a minute. I want to put some county roads on here. This is going to be somewhere in between this range here. So we're not going to get too cutesy on exactly what we're worried about. This is the Risher community, Chilson community, right around County Road 267. This is County Road 276, County Road 402. It says Long Creek Lane there, probably going to pass west of there. County Road 406 is somewhere that I would really be watching though right now. Like I said, we have storm spotters there. The Risher community is where we would need to be watching. Once again, I want to kind of give people an idea. Also, here's Jonesboro. Here's the area we're watching. Put this into motion, and you can see that this is going to slide south of the locations where it was last time. If this continues moving through, tell you what we're going to do. What's the movement on that, Zach?
That is southeast at about, earlier it was about 35. Let me see if that's changed with that storm.
So it's going to probably pass just to the north of Harrisburg. Greenfield community crossing over Highway 1 at 812.
Southeast at 25 miles an hour.
25 miles an hour. So let
Correct.
me clear that off there and slow it down just a little bit. 25 miles per hour. My point in the matter on this is it's going to be passing south of where the threat was last time. And I made that a little wide in case it moves. You say 25 miles an hour?
Yes.
All right, so there we go. That's going to take it into Greenfield at about 823 if it continues that trajectory. But if you get an idea, this is sliding south of the areas that were hit last Saturday. Any new reports coming in on that?
Not yet. Someone said they were going to try to send me a video. I have not got that video just yet. So
Let me look over here also.
National Weather Service about 3 minutes ago said they agreed that the low-level circulation was strengthening gradually. So hopefully we'll get some pictures or video out of that area and see if we did have a tornado or not. But yeah, those latest scans earlier, they started to tighten up, and with already that picture of a funnel coming in, it wouldn't be surprised if maybe we did have a brief touchdown. Hopefully we'll kind of get a better idea.
All right, tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to show you radar real fast. We've got heavy rain. We haven't had any hail reports, though, coming in here recently, have we?
Not yet.
Okay, so Valley View, you've got heavy rain. The storm motion on this also is different than last time. So, if you're thinking to yourself, last time it came from that direction, so I need to be worried about it this time. Not the case. Last week it was going southwest to northeast, so even though we're kind of concerned with this area just to the northwest or even northwest Poinsett County, it's moving in a different direction. So I also want to kind of ease some fears on that also, because you may be thinking, okay, well, this was southwest of Valley View last week. Is there any chance it can make a hard left turn and come back into the same locations? It's not. But this is going across Highway 18 right now, still seeing the little appendage, little hook hanging off the edge of it, and still not seeing any reports that would be too concerning just yet. Now, I have not been in. We're getting a spotter report out of Hoxie. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see that. 8 miles southeast of Walnut Ridge. That would.
Widen out for just a minute. I want to make sure we're not losing anything, missing anything. We've got storms, Ripley County down into. Hey, wait a minute. What's that in the upper left-hand corner of the screen?
Where is that?
Guys in the back, what is that?
Hey,
Is that Castleberry?
hey, y'all.
Aaron,
yeah,
go ahead.
I'm
What are you
here. I'm
seeing?
I'm right here. I see a tornado. It is just south of me. I'm on 226 there, just off of the 67 exit. So I'm at the 67 226, looking back towards the south and east right now. I do have a tornado. It's now getting farther away from me, but when I was coming across the overpass, I could see the funnel had come to the ground. It's really getting real faint now, but anybody that is maybe 3 to 4 miles south of 226 and now about 2 to 3 miles east of 67. I do have a tornado, see a tornado on the ground.
There you go.
It's getting really faint now because it's getting farther and farther away from me. It's over open farmland right now, but this is going to be headed towards Highway 49 here in just a little bit, back between Jonesboro and Wiener.
Okay, I tell you what, Aaron, you're in a safe position right now. You could probably turn the camera off and start heading that direction, then check back with us here in just a second. Good grief, I can't believe that. Second time in 10 days that we've had a tornado on live television. Guys, let me show you where this was. Aaron was. Did he say he was right here? Wasn't he looking back toward the tornado?
So that would be south of Cache, probably already crossed Highway 18, now moving over a lot of county roads. The next major highway it's going to cross is 49 north of Wiener. So right there where 49 crosses from Craighead County down into Poinsett County. So not a heavily populated area, but people do live on that stretch of highway, kind of between Gibson and Wiener is where this, if the tornado stays on the ground, is where that's going to cross. So Wiener, go ahead, get in your tornado safe spot just in case this makes a hard right turn. I think you're okay, but just in case you are within that polygon, so we really need you to take your tornado safety precautions. That will cross the area. And guys, you can take Max 2 if you want. I've got it zoomed in a little bit closer to Highway 49 and to kind of give people a better idea of where that tornado is going to cross. So there's Highway 49. There's the state line, that white line that's right there along the line. It's already crossed Highway 18. So Wiener, there you are to the south. So you're in the tornado warning, but that area of rotation is north of you and may stay north of you. Don't want to say for sure, but if you live on Rayburn Road, if you live on Pumpkin Center Road, Centenny Road, that's where you need to be taking cover, as that area is going to be moving towards Highway 49 and then cross into Poinsett County and move deeper into Poinsett County. Valley View, this area is going to be passing just to your south, so between Gibson and between Wiener. That's where we're concerned about there along Highway 49, that stretch. That'll be the next major highway that tornado is going to cross.
All right, I'm just looking to see if we have anything new here to pass along. All right, just making sure we don't have anything new. Did you pass that along to the Weather Service also? I'm assuming
yes,
that's
I did.
why they extended on that.
Yes, they're aware that we had that report.
Okay. All right, so once again, this is the area that we are watching. Aaron Castleberry just showed us a tornado live on television once again down through here. He said it was over open farmland. Said it was about 2 to 3 miles to the east of 67 and then south of 226, and that matches up exactly with what we are seeing on radar right now. So this is about to cross over into Poinsett County. Look at the wind on here once again. This is probably, it may have already crossed into Poinsett County. It's going to be crossing over 49 here shortly. I'm going to zoom in just a little more, get you right down to the city, and you can see where Wiener is now. That's going to be crossing over 49 here shortly. They have extended the tornado warning past this red line. In fact, if I show you here, let me widen out. This is a tornado warning. Now that it's observed, they've kind of put that a little bit farther down to the southeast now. Harrisburg is included in this tornado warning for a storm that's crossing out of Craighead County going into Poinsett County. Man, I tell you what, if I could trade in the hail reports that we were having with, switch this around right now. I hate to see another tornado happening right now, but I will say that as of right now, Aaron said it was over open farmland. We're not going to be able to see it too well. We're looking on our camera there. Our best bet to get another report out of this is going to be coming from Aaron here shortly as he comes around on the back side of this. Sorry, I'm behind the scenes here also just seeing if, there it is. Zach, take over for just a second.
You what?
I'm seeing pictures of the tornado.
Okay. So if we go back down to Max 2, or I can say on Max 1, if that's here, Max 2, it's going to get closer to Highway 49. So Jonesboro, you do get a severe thunderstorm warning just for the hail on that side of the storm. Notice, even though the area of rotation is farther to the south, we've still got a little bit of hail possible along 226 from Cache to Valley View, then back up into Jonesboro. So heavy rain, some smaller quarter-sized hail possible with that as that moves your way. Put this in motion. Notice it's moving, at least the heavier rain is kind of moving more east. east, but that area of rotation is going to be back down here to the south. So where that little hook is in this area, so right in here where it's trying to wrap up, that's where you're going to have that tornado threat, as it's now probably, if it hasn't crossed into Poinsett County, it's right there on the line. We had that old tornado warning that does include portions of Jonesboro, but the threat has gone south of Jonesboro. So Jonesboro, we're not concerned about a tornado there in the city limits, but just to the south between Weiner and Gibson, that's where we could still have that tornado on the ground. Meteorologist Aaron Castleberry had it live for us on air on his stream. We were behind it, didn't get a super good look at it, but it did look like it was on the ground.
It's on the ground. I just now
got
put
another picture of it.
I just now put out, guys. I just put video and picture. Just retweeted the video. I only watched about half of it beforehand. There it is. That's the tornado. This was just south of 226. Hold on, let me tell you who sent
guys,
it.
I got a
Robert
closer,
Brock sent that picture in.
I just got a closer picture of it. If you want to, I just retweeted it on my Twitter. It's from Storm Chaser. I know from Texas. He's in the area today. He's right there up next to it. It's on the ground. You've got the funnel is not all the way to the ground, so it's not condensated all the way to the ground, but it is got a dust plume under it. It is on the ground. After this video, if you want to go to my Twitter, you can get a little bit closer look at it. So take this seriously. If you live between Weiner, if you live in between Weiner and the Gibson curve, so where 49 curves back towards Valley View, that's where we're watching very, very closely there. For that tornado that possibly could still be on the ground. Haven't heard of it lifting yet, but
Zach, is it still moving to the southeast at 25 miles an hour?
I believe so, yes.
All right. So tell you what, we need everybody in Harrisburg to be in your tornado safe spot. I'm gonna put a leading edge. What's that?
There it is. A little bit closer. Quincy there got it just. You can see the condensated funnel there is not all the way to the ground, but it's still moving dirt there, throwing it in the air.
Good grief.
Great shot there from Quincy. He's been able to get closer to it. So yeah, just treat this very serious situation if you live in this area south of Jonesboro, now moving into Poinsett County there on Highway 49 north of Weiner.
All right, I'm just sitting here seeing if we've got any more angles on that. You know, that's just one of those things where it's like, it's there. And we got to take this serious now. Tell you what, I've put a storm track on this. I'm going to clear this off. I want to make sure that I had the right speed on this because I kind of want to stand by. All right. Computer's acting a little weird right now.
Getting some quarter-sized hail reports east of Cache. So we've still got a little bit of a hail threat with this storm, but I think the threat has shifted a little bit from hail to tornado now that this storm has produced a confirmed tornado. We haven't heard if it's still on the ground, but that doesn't matter at this point. It did produce a tornado. It's capable of producing a tornado. So if you live between Gibson and Weiner, take cover, and especially towards the Greenfield area and further off deeper into Poinsett County. Harrisburg is going to be very close to that. In fact, Harrisburg, I would be in my tornado safe spot right now. I'd grab the kids, the animals, a mattress, helmets, just something to protect you in case debris is picked up if there is a tornado still on the ground as it approaches. It's going to be about closer to 8:30, so it is 8:01 right now. You've got about 30 minutes, 25 minutes to kind of prepare for this tornado as that storm, that area of rotation, that area of concern where we've had a confirmed tornado continues to move off in your direction if you're in the Harrisburg area.
This thing looks like it's tightened back up just a little bit. It's moving southeast 25 miles an hour near Whitaker Community at 8:32, Harrisburg at 8:26. It's going to be near Weona at around 8:45 if it continues. You know, and it showed that rotation for quite a while. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get some other damage reports. If we can take anything good out of this right now is that it's open farmland when it was on the ground. This is crossing 49 right now. So if there's something there, it's crossing over 49 right now, just to the north of the Weiner community, probably somewhere between Highway 214 and the county line. This is going to be coming near Greenfield here shortly. Don't want to give Harrisburg the all clear, hoping it passes north of at least our highest population centers, but kind of an odd movement on this. We don't get a whole lot of tornadoes that go from northwest to southeast, but once again, in typical 2020 fashion, proving us that things can be a little bit odd right now. So once again, do we have Aaron Castleberry? Is Aaron? Okay, stand by. Hold on 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'm reading things back behind the scenes here just to make sure we're not missing anything to pass along to you. So once again, Highway 49 down to Greenfield and Harrisburg, tornado threat. Let me widen out the look, and I just want to make sure we're not missing anything else. We got severe thunderstorm warning coming out of Greene County, going into Dunklin County. That's a very, very broad rotation. No risk of a tornado there. However, we've got heavy rain in Zenith. Wouldn't be surprised to maybe see some small hail with that storm. So we're going to go back down to the storm that has had a history now of producing a tornado. Let's get you through a couple of things first. If you're just now tuning in with us, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for the northern side of this storm. That is in effect for Jonesboro. The tornado warning is south of you. The area we're watching is just crossing over Highway 49 right now. The tornado threat is not going to be going into Jonesboro. The tornado threat is not going to be hitting the places that were already devastated last Saturday. There is some heavy rain falling right now. If you look at the lightning within the storm, I'm kind of looking off camera over here also of the lightning. As you can see there, looking out from Indiana Baptist. Thunder and lightning right now after what we had last Saturday, it's frightening. I get it. We're meteorologists, and even we are a little bit anxious about all of this. So we're keeping an eye on this storm, and we're just trying to give you as much information as possible to not only keep you safe, but on the opposite side also to make sure you're not too panicked about this also. There's a lot of lightning within this storm, and it is still showing. Wow, look at that hook right there. It's still right there on Highway 49. When we say that we're looking at the hook on this storm, if you notice,
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about right here. So the inflow of this storm is right there. So this is crossing over 49 right now and heading toward Greenfield. Now, draw a couple other features. Here's Jonesboro at the top. You're getting rain right now, but even the hail core is going to be more through here. Valley View southward. We've already had, I believe, nickel-size hail reported just a bit ago. Excuse me. Let's see. No, that was south of Valley View, Otwell, dime, and nickel-size hail reported on that storm. All right, so once again, this is now all the way into Poinsett County. Officially, the tornado warning has a little sliver of Craighead County. That's not... they'll probably clear that away here shortly, although the threat is crossing over 49 right now. I'm going to give you another time of arrival on this real fast. Did you say it was moving to the 25 miles an hour? Is that the last check?
Yes, 25 miles an hour to the southeast. And guys, if you want to take the Poinsett County or Mark Tree weather camera,
okay, yeah, good
we've got
idea.
a lot of light. You can't really. The storm's a little too far away to see that area of rotation, but you can just see how much lightning that storm is producing there. So that's a very strong thunderstorm. And even if you're not in the area of concern for rotation, that's a lot of lightning, that's heavy rain, thunder, and probably still some small hail getting reports out of the north side of that storm. So this is a serious storm. So even if you're not in that area of rotation, you need to be indoors and outside, because I mean that lightning, there's about 4 or 5 lightning strikes within 5 seconds. So that's about a lightning strike every second. So that's just a very strong storm and has a lot of energy with it. Unfortunately, still too far away, and with the light, with it being dark and the sun setting, can't really see underneath that storm very well. But as a whole, we can see the body, the updraft, and the main area of that storm pretty well there from Mark Tree.
You know, if you look at radar, let me show you. Let me get out of the way. This is where that camera is. So we're looking from there back into this storm. You put a storm track on this. We've got it coming near Harrisburg at 8:33, Weona 8:47. If this continues on, that camera sits right here, and it looks down Interstate 555. We're kind of looking back toward this direction. If that thing is still rotating, we will have eyes on it also as it continues moving through. Do we have Aaron Castleberry anymore? It's kind of getting dark now. Okay, don't have him yet. Tell you what, for those that are just now joining in right now, let's show once again, if we can, the video and the pictures of the tornado and where this was. This was, if you know where the big loop is that goes from 226 down to Highway 67. If you were driving towards 67 and you looked out your left window, that's what you would see right there. That's the tornado that prompted the tornado warning, and that is the tornado that we showed you live on television. Aaron Castleberry coming in on the backside of the storm, and I kind of looked in the upper left-hand corner of the screen at Aaron's shot, and you could clearly see that tornado moving through. This doesn't look like an EF3. This isn't like what we were seeing last week at all, but definitely one that you need to respect and keep an eye on. Once again, 833 for Harrisburg, 847 for Weona. You see the lightning there. That is looking from our camera on top of Progeny at Mark Tree. That storm is going to be heading in that direction. So we're at 8:08 right now. I think by 9 o'clock that storm should be pretty close to where that weather camera is, and we'll have a pretty good eye on it. Hopefully by that point this thing weakens. There's another look at the tornado. As it came through, you can see the debris down at the bottom. You can see the condensation funnel not making it all the way down to the ground, but it is a tornado. Not sure that the Weather Service will have any damage indicators to rate this tornado, and that's a good thing. A damage indicator would be something like a building, a shop, a house, a commercial building, a car, something like that. We, of course, last Saturday, the Weather Service came, surveyed. They had a lot of things to survey to see exactly how strong the storm was. It appears, and what Aaron was saying was that was over open field when he was showing it live on KAIT just a bit ago. Still showing that hook there. It's right through here, starting to snuff itself out just a little bit, so we'll have to watch and see if it cycles back up once again. Let's look at the wind on that. It's still showing a decent rotation there. Now we're going to have to start transitioning to a time where we have to catch it off the lightning to see it. Although Aaron is on the back side of this storm, so Aaron may still have the light of day. I'm sitting there looking at some of the weather cameras, and we do have the light of day still a little bit on the horizon there. So we'll watch for that. Anything new over there, Zach?
Spotters say they can still see the funnel from Highway 214. Now, they say funnel, but you notice a lot of those pictures, it wasn't condensed all the way down to the ground. It was picking up dirt. The only way we could see that it was on the ground was the fact that it was moving dirt. So they say funnel, it could still be on the ground. It's nighttime, visibility is not great. So still treat this with this tornado warning as if it was on the ground. Take cover if you're in the Greenfield community. Harrisburg still probably needs to be in their safe spots, and Wiener, I mean, it's very close to you. It's only about probably a couple miles north of Wiener, though it is going to pass to the north and east. So pretty much Rayburn Road. If you live anywhere along Rayburn Road or even on Evans Lane there as it cuts down to the south, that's the area where you're probably going to see the biggest danger from that rotation over the next 5 minutes. It's going to, and in Greenfield probably in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then Harrisburg, it's going to get decently close to you. It may pass just to the north, but you need to be in your safe spot anyway as it continues to move off to the east southeast. So we're not done with this storm. If you notice, if we zoom out, guys, we can go to max 2 there. If we zoom out, it's the southernmost storm. So it's not like the storms to the north that are severe, but they don't really have the tornado threat because there's a lot of things influencing around. There's a lot of rain. There's a lot of cooled air. If you notice, the southern storm, it's got wide open to the south, so it can continue to cycle. It can continue to pose a threat for a tornado over the next until something, either the storm weakens or something kind of interferes with it. So even downstream from this, if you live in Mark Tree and you know nobody in a Mark Tree, give them a call and say, hey, you need to start paying attention to the weather. The threat's not immediate in Mark Tree or Tyronza, but just in the next hour or so it could be as the storm continues to move that way. So hour and a half there for other portions of Poinsett County, like Mark Tree, Tyronza, and areas south and west of those. But in the warning right now, Greenfield community, Harrisburg area needs to be in their tornado safe spots. If we put this in motion, notice it's going to be moving very, very close to Harrisburg. So Harrisburg, even though it looks like it may go north of you, really needs you in your tornado safe spot, because if you put it in motion, might not be the case. It's actually kind of diving southeast now. So that rotation, notice that little hook has occluded a little bit, which usually means that cooler air has wrapped in, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. These things can cycle, especially in the environment that storm is in. We can still see that tornado kind of tighten back up and produce. It's still looking at velocity. It still looks pretty impressive, still poses a threat. And people are still following. We've got spotters reporting this. We've got spotters following this. Hold on, we're getting a few more reports here, Ryan. Are you on chat? Are you seeing this?
I am. Let me see.
And so we've got more train spotters reporting that a tornado is on the ground 4 miles south of Otwell.
That would be a little bit. That would be a little bit farther away from.
That's back towards Highway 49 there. So either that's a delayed report or
they're looking in that direction.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe they're there. I think there's a tornado on the ground.
Yeah,
right there.
Especially with that latest scan. Those earlier we were just kind of showing those brighter colors there. And how we talked, okay, maybe that's just a little bit of contamination. I don't think that's contamination anymore. I think, especially Rayburn Road, you need to treat this as a tornado emergency. You need to be in your safe spot if you live anywhere near Rayburn Road, as it's already crossed Highway 49. It's already past Wiener, but the Rayburn Road area, and then Highway 1, Greenfield to Harrisburg, you need to be in your tornado safe spot immediately as the storm moves your way, because that is a very impressive signature there. And Rayburn Road there, as it goes from Highway 49 to Highway 1. So a lot of people may use that road to kind of cross and jump to the next highway over. So Rayburn Road is the immediate area. And even Centenny Road, I think that's how you pronounce that there.
Here's a report. Tornado on the ground west of Greenfield right now. This is coming from a train stores for a tornado with debris between Waldenburg and Harrisburg right now. So this is on the ground. Guys, this is on the ground right now, and I'm going to zoom all the way in on this. This is crossing Rayburn Road right now, and it's moving down to the southeast. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you where it is, and then we're just going to start sliding the map down to the southeast. So right now, County Road 437 crossing over Rayburn Road right now. In fact, we've got a farmer that gives us a lot of good information on the weather pretty close to this. So I'm looking over here to see if we get any kind of report from him. Claypool Lane, County Road 812, County Road 446. We'll continue this on down. If you know see where Harrisburg is now, here's Harrisburg. Harrisburg, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now. Train spotters are reporting this on the ground between Waldenburg and Harrisburg right now. Between Waldenburg and Harrisburg on the ground, getting reports of this still moving down to the southeast. Let me widen out once again. That is falling right in line with that tornado warning right now. We're picking up some pretty heavy rain here at the station right now also. Let me put this into motion. Yeah, you look at that, and that is definitely on the ground. Mm-hmm. Here it is. See it? See the movement? Had a tornado touch down right about there, and it's on the ground right now.
Yeah, right. We're getting pictures, and it is definitely on the ground. Some people have been retweeting them. We've got a chaser from some of the Little Rock stations in the area, and they've got a good look at this storm. It's definitely still on the ground and approaching. Man, that velocity signature continues to look impressive.
Tell you what, I'm looking at a picture of it from 1 minute ago, and this is a large tornado again.
Yeah, it's grown. It's fully condensed down to the surface. It is likely doing damage, for sure doing damage, I should say, as that tornado's on the ground.
Tell you what, Aaron, let's go to Aaron Castleberry. We don't have video with him right now. Aaron, are you seeing this tornado? It's on the ground.
I am not, but I'm between Gibson Switch and Otwell, getting close to Otwell, fixing to cross into Poinsett County. There's a lot of lightning in this storm. But I'm thinking as soon as I can get over to Poinsett County where there's some of the more open farmlands, I could probably see it, especially if I can get south of Wiener. But like I said, right now I'm between Gibson Switch and Otwell, coming into the Otwell community here on the Craighead Poinsett County line. I haven't seen any damage through here, so that's a good sign for people living through here. But if y'all have seen that tornado on the ground farther to the east, then folks, especially in Harrisburg, need to go ahead and get in their safe spot. Let me get a little bit farther south, and I'll get back with you in just a little bit.
Okay, we're going to continue to stay in contact with Aaron. What'd you say again? All right, let's go to this picture. This is the latest picture. We just got Brian Emfinger, who's with our sister station down on Little Rock, tweeted this just a couple of minutes ago. And Zach, just looking at that's a decent sized tornado. I don't think it's what we were dealing with last week, and I don't want to rate tornadoes here during live coverage, but that's still a pretty big tornado right now.
Yes, it is, and it just continues to. We just got another picture he tweeted another picture about 40 seconds, and it looks even bigger than it did originally. You can see the dirt being sprayed around that cone. That is a cone tornado there on the ground. Just continuing to move towards Greenfield. So Greenfield, Highway 1 north of Harrisburg. This is a tornado emergency. This tornado is on the ground. It is doing damage. It is going to do damage as it moves further through Poinsett County. So Rayburn Road area still need to be in your tornado safe spot. Greenfield down through Highway 1 to Harrisburg, you definitely need to be in your tornado safe spot. And even some of these other roads past Greenfield, you really just need to take cover as this tornado continues to move your direction. So this is going to be moving in these areas. So south of Greenfield between Harrisburg, we're still going to be watching this cross Highway 1, and then probably the next about the next 10 to 15 minutes there north of Harrisburg. And this may impact portions of Harrisburg. I'm not trying to scare anyone, just to let you know that it is going to be very close to Harrisburg and that this is a tornado on the ground.
Just now, guys, I just now retweeted another picture from Brian Emfinger, who is watching this tornado moving down to the southeast. Getting another report, violent tornado on the ground heading. There it is right there. So,
man,
dangerous looking storm right now. And I think where Brian is, I think he is between Harrisburg and Greenfield, just kind of looking at that. I'm trying to figure out exactly. Actually, it looks like maybe he is west of the tornado. Yeah, I think he's west of the tornado.
I think I've been seeing the ridge show up in some of his pictures there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so we're going to continue watching this once again. Here's the tornado southeast of Rayburn Road, and it is moving southeast. This is going to cross over Highway 1. This is going to come very, very, very close to Harrisburg. We need Harrisburg and Greenfield to be with as many walls in between you and the outside. With as many walls between you and the outside and in the lowest level. If you have a tornado shelter, do that. If you have helmets around the house, put them on the kids. If you have enough helmets for everyone get helmets on. If you don't have a helmet, do something to cover your head and make sure that we have your head protected as you if you're in the path of this storm. So here is Highway 1. So if you're used to coming down South Highway 1, you go through the Greenfield community, you come into Harrisburg. They've got the big American flag that sits there just north of town. This is an area that I would be highly concerned with. If you are anywhere in about a 2-mile circle of that, we need you in your tornado safe spot. Haven't heard, as the Weather Service said, much more about this anymore.
Just passed along to them that was still on the ground west of, but they're still following that. Likely probably going to need another tornado warning because that one goes past Harrisburg. So Mark Tree down toward Tyronza is still outside of the tornado warning, but the next one would likely cover your area. Truman, if you lived on the west side of Truman, you probably got a tornado alert on your phone, but you're not going to be impacted by this. But as it crosses the ridge area, move towards I-555. If you're south of Truman, so between Truman and Mark Tree, you probably need to be watching this storm very close, and you might need to be very close to your safe spot. You don't have to be in it right now, but just be ready to jump in there in the next 30, 40 minutes as the storm continues to move east. and then Tyronza as well. Eventually, we'll need to watch this storm over the next hour. So that's some further away areas that need to watch this storm. But if you are near Greenfield, Harrisburg, Rayburn Road, it's now south of Rayburn Road, but what is it? Wiener Cutoff Road, Swan Pond Road, County Road 812 is likely where that tornado is. But it's going to be moving towards Wiener Cutoff Road and then Evans Lane there and a few other county roads, eventually crossing Highway 1 just north of, close to or north of Harrisburg, there south of Greenfield. So this is a tornado emergency. We don't say that phrase with lightly. We saved that for the emergency situations, and this is an emergency situation as we've gotten confirmed pictures of a large cone tornado throwing debris in the air, throwing dirt in the air, so it is on the ground, and we really need you to be in your tornado safe spots if you're in the path of this. We just want you to be in the best place if this tornado does move over where you live. The best place to be during a tornado is an interior room without any kind of walls to the outside, no windows, a bathroom, a closet. You need to be in there. That's where the winds have the hardest time kind of getting to the winds of a tornado. They're going to damage the exterior part of your house first, the walls, the garage door, anything that the wind can kind of get in, change the pressure difference, and then blow out those walls. The center portion of your house, that's where the winds have the hardest time doing damage, just because there are multiple walls on either side kind of protecting you. So that's why we say interior room. If you're in a multi-story house, get to the lowest level. If you have a basement, that's the best. But if you don't have a basement or you don't have a storm cellar, the lowest level of your house will be fine, as long as you're in an interior room without windows and without any walls that if you knock those walls down, you'd be looking outside. So an interior room at the lowest level of your house, anywhere from the Greenfield area to Harrisburg and still west of Highway 1. This area of rotation, this confirmed tornado has not crossed Highway 1 just yet, but it will over the next probably 5 minutes. It's just north of Wiener Cutoff Road. A lot of people kind of take that road in between Highway 49 and Highway 1 to kind of to skip across there, and we'll continue to watch that. County Road 812, Messingill Road, some other roads, Evans Lane. It's going to cross Evans Lane eventually. That's where this confirmed tornado is at this moment. It's going to be moving towards Highway 1 and maybe even the northern portions of Harrisburg too.
All right. Tell you what you need to start looking for also. Wow, I see the lightning from it right now. Mm-hmm. We need to start looking at the marked tree camera. Just to kind of position this real fast.
Try to zoom in a little bit, but we've got, if I go left anymore, that's where you run into that blocked view with one of the metal pieces there on top of the grain elevator.
Okay. Here's where the tornado is, right here, and here is Harrisburg. It's going to be coming into the northern parts of Harrisburg here shortly. What you see in the upper left-hand corner, Zach is positioning our weather camera that is in Mark Tree. That camera sits right here in Mark Tree. And you're seeing just a ton of lightning. Mm-hmm. We've got a little block on this vantage point here on top of the grain bins there.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to see once you zoom in. It kind of gets a little bit more grainy.
Yeah,
especially with rain now pushing into the area and lightning every so often. It's going to be hard to see underneath that storm.
It sounds like we've got a lot of spotters that are going to be around this storm also. So. We may stand by. Let me see. We're getting a ton of tweets right now. It's hard to kind of filter through what's going on. Let's go back to radar. We're going to keep an eye on that camera out of Mark Tree. If I were to bet, I would still say this is going to be on the ground right here. So if you know where Greenfield is, you know where Harrisburg is, I would say this is going to cross probably somewhere through here. We're going to know here shortly in the next scan or two, kind of get a better idea of where this is crossing, but it does look like it's going to cross if it's still on the ground on the north side of Harrisburg. I'm going to widen back out for just a second. We're going to put a storm track on the leading edge of this. As you can see, a lot of lightning also. And once again, we're not forgetting about anyone else. We've got storms in Clay County. We've got storms kind of right in the Greene County line. One over here in Pemiscot County. We've got some pretty heavy rain going on in Jonesboro, where we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now. That storm's putting down some heavy rain and probably a lot of lightning also. Let me click this lightning. Probably got Not a ton of lightning, but we've got some lightning with that storm in Jonesboro. And I said this just a little bit ago, just trying to ease fears about Jonesboro with storm anxiety of what we had last week. That's heavy rain. I know it's dark now. I know we have some lightning. This is passing to the south of you, and you can see that hook there that we have from this tornado warning. Chances are they're probably going to extend this tornado warning down to the south. Now, I'm going to show you the wind again on this storm. Stand by. Okay, so we got power line. I'm hearing in my ear right now that we've got power lines down on Rayborn Road, which is where we were showing just a little bit ago. So more than likely, that's where the tornado came. It is. That's where the tornado came through on Rayborn Road. Guys, sheriff's deputy said that. Were there any homes nearby? I know there are a few homes along Rayborn Road, but I don't know exactly where that would have been. So if y'all hear anything about that, keep us updated on that, because I know a lot of folks are watching right now. You may have family and friends, and what I'm hoping is that we can just say it's just power lines. That would be awesome. So far, all we've had is it's over open fields. That would be the greatest thing if we can just keep this over open fields, but it is kind of going into a populated area. Radar not looking as impressive right now as that continues moving down to the southeast at around 25 miles per hour. It's going to be in Weona Junction at 846, Old Weona 847, Boat Run at 859, and Yellow Banks at 905. Now, I will say that last scan, let me zoom in here just a little bit, kind of shifted everything pretty fast. Is this thing kind of cycling around and
Looks like
doing
it.
something odd here? If it's on the ground still, we're going to get some reports. Well, that doesn't match up with, it showed this couplet over here. If there's something there, it's going to be right there. You can see the roads there of Harrisburg, on the north side of Harrisburg. It's going to be right there. I wonder if there is anything there. And let me check my feed. Stand by. 8:24 minutes ago, it was still on the ground. 4 minutes ago, it was still on the ground. We have a spotter watching it. 4 minutes ago, it was on the ground still, crossing, about to cross over Highway 1. This is Old Military Lane. Let me zoom all the way in here. Now, let me say this also, something we learned last week on Saturday. Radar, this is a pretty good distance away from the radar. And last week when we were covering it, it kept looking like the storm or the tornado was riding right up 49, or maybe even to the west a little bit of 49, and it ended up being farther to the east there in Brooklyn. So when we zoom down like this, there is a chance that we could be off by just a little bit. Tell you what, I'm going to do something here that I've never done. J. Paul Woods is on my phone right now. And Jay, I am live on television right now, but I saw you on my phone, and I just wanted to, if you have word or not, if this is still on the ground.
The sheriff just said that the tornado is on the ground and it's headed towards it's going to hit Harrisburg. What he just said.
Okay, and that's coming from who? Now, once again, J. Paul, you are live on air right now.
Yeah, that comes from the deputies.
Okay, so coming into Harrisburg.
Yes, they need to. We just got reports of a trailer being hit as well, but we're working on the location on that.
Okay, continue to keep us updated, J. Paul. We're going to continue going on air with this right now. Thank you. All right, bye. All right, tell you what, I've never done that before, but I looked down and I've been talking with J. Paul Woods and their disaster relief. He's with Skywarn down there in Poinsett County, saying that this is on the ground and coming into Harrisburg right now. That is coming from the deputy. So it's going to be somewhere between Nix Road and the center of town there. The center of town right there where Sonic is and the gas station's there. I'm just hoping everybody is in their tornado safe spot. And it's about to hit the ridge here also. It's about to get into a little bit of elevation. So we need everybody from Harrisburg eastward up to 163 over near Cromwell Cutoff Lane in your tornado safe spot right now. Good grief. I tell you, this is one of those one of those springs where you almost want to apologize to everybody that this is happening, but once again, that was Skywarn with Poinsett County saying that a trailer has been hit, according to the deputies there. This is coming through Harrisburg right now. Did you pass that along to the Weather Service
Yes.
also? And chances are they're going to extend this warning out. We've got a camera that sits right here. There is an obstruction that doesn't allow us to see probably right through here. So as soon as that gets a little bit farther down to the southeast of Harrisburg, we're going to have a vantage point if it doesn't get blocked by the camera view. I'm seeing the cloud base though now. Are you seeing anything with that, Zach?
I'm trying to in between. I may zoom out a little bit, see if we can get a better resolution a little bit. That was a good. Yeah, I think on the right side there of that lightning strike, still looked like you could see the cloud base dip down a little bit. So the clouds are still low, but as of seeing a tornado or not from this vantage point, I have not seen anything yet.
All right. So once again, we are getting reports that the tornado is on the ground. I tell you, there's just the radar data right now is just not matching up real well with what we are hearing on the ground. What we're hearing on the ground is that it was just now coming into Harrisburg. Yeah, there's a drop right there of debris, possibly east of Harrisburg. Can you check in with Brian Enfinger and see if he has said anything else? That kind of matches up also. If there's something still on the ground, it's probably going to be right here.
8 minutes ago, he said still on the ground.
Okay, so
that's the latest from him, but
if you don't mind, yeah, all right. So between Sally Road right now and Highway 14. Let me check real fast. Stand by. Let me see if I have anything new coming through. We're also getting hail reports out of Bono right now. All right, no, I don't have anything new right at the moment. Let me check my phone right now. 8:30, it is still on the ground. So 4 minutes ago, it's still on the ground.
okay.
Guys, let's get a crew to Harrisburg if Aaron's not already there.
Okay.
Aaron is?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm hearing in my ear. You may be wondering at home what I'm talking about. They're talking in my ear right now. Aaron is about 5 miles out from Harrisburg. We're going to check on Harrisburg. Very concerned with the north side and the east side of town right now. I'm pretty confident that the tornado is probably still on the ground right now, right there crossing over Highway 163. At 163. All right. Let me widen back out here, guys. We're getting hail reports also coming out of Bono from this storm. Well, that had to be a little bit earlier then. Just looking at this now, there may still be some small hail with this storm, which has a severe thunderstorm warning. Definitely still seeing that hook right through there. The tornado has now gone through Harrisburg. Now, I'm not sure how close it got. It looks like we have, that's another little sign that we would look at on radar to we should get a new scan here in just a second off of this. Well, I tell you, we're just not getting really good data on this right now. Of course, this is starting to go over the ridge right now. We still need, let me widen out here. I want to warn people downstream also of this. This is now past Harrisburg. It's continuing on. There's the new tornado warning. New tornado warning is now in effect. That is going to include as far north as Lepanto, although I think the risk is going to go farther to the north of you. It's going to include Mark Tree. It's going to include Tyronza. Tyronza, we need you in your tornado safe spot here. It's still several minutes out. You still got plenty of time. This is going to cross over Highway 373. It's going to cross near Weona. It's going to it's probably going to come pretty close to Interstate 555, and we're going to get a pretty good vantage point of this here in just a minute if it doesn't get rain wrapped, or if our not rain wrapped really, but our vantage point covered up with rain. Our camera sits right here. See if we can look west right now. This is going to be the time period right now where we have a rain-free look. Look at the far left side of the storm. Yeah, probably even past Yeah, see if we can go past there to the left.
Past there? That'd be looking more towards the south. So that's ahead of the storm. This will probably be the best vantage point we can get until it gets closer to Mark Tree. This is looking west with that pole there on the left side of it. That's looking back off to the west.
Okay, we're just then we got a pretty good look at the base of it. See, I think just look to the left of it still, though. Look to the left because we're going to have to get on that side of it before we see anything. Turn it to the left, get past all of that, and we're going to just pass there just a little bit. And hopefully we can get a good vantage point of that here in a minute. Because what we're looking at, to the right side of that is the storm, and looking straight out that direction there, if you notice, that's Interstate 555. You see the cars moving from right to left. So we're going to continue to watch that. We should have a vantage point on that one. All right, so we're going to continue watching that. I'm going to see if...
And just newsroom passed along some information. Sheriff Mulder, they're starting to get reports of damage. They have power lines down in the county, and then they had a couple calls about damage to a house in the Claypool area. So they're working to learn more about that, but still very preliminary stuff, as any reports are just now going to be funneled in. So there's going to be a little bit of a delay unless it comes directly from social media about just how much damage there is. So it's power lines down definitely, and starting to get some very early reports of damage to houses in the Claypool area.
Okay, just got a report at 8:37, so it's 2 minutes ago that it is still on the road, still on the ground, east of Harrisburg on Nix Road. East of Harrisburg on Nix Road. Tell you what, if J. Paul Woods hears me right now, call back in, and I want to get an update from you. I'm really worried about the Harrisburg area and just kind of want to get an update on what's going on. This is still on the ground. Here's Weona Junction. Here's Weona. Here's, I believe, let's say Hog Road there. Moving right now east of Harrisburg and continuing on. If you know where Nix Road is, deputy just now reporting it on the ground. So this is near Old Faulkner Road. That's Bay Lane there. Here, there's the Whitaker community. This is crossing over Ditch 26 Lane. There's Jake Road. Weona, we need you in your tornado safe spot now. Guys, I'll tell you something else I wouldn't mind doing is because we've got people out on the roads also, is if we could get in touch with Trey Stafford to see if he has had any reports down in that area also, and he is from Poinsett County. He may have already heard some reports. We're going to continue watching the weather camera there. Radar still showing this. Let me see if we've got anything else. No. We haven't put a storm track on it here in just a little bit, so I want to put a storm track on the leading edge of this. It is going over some rural areas, but it's also going into some smaller communities like Weona that we need to be here for. This is moving down to the southeast. Did you say still about 25 miles an hour?
Yes, I believe that was the latest update. They're moving off to the southeast.
Weona Junction, 845, boat run at 901. Tyronza, this is going to be really, really close to you. Right here, once again, right there, kind of where it says 555, that's where that camera is that we were showing you just a minute ago. So it's going to be interesting to see once this storm gets closer to us. We should have a pretty good vantage point on this also. Got something new over there, Zach?
Just they're still monitoring that storm, and it's still I'm still trying to look up some damage reports. I haven't got anything just yet, but someone said they were in shelter on the north side of Harrisburg near Peck Road, but they haven't heard much yet, and I assume that means that there probably wasn't much damage or any damage on Peck Road there if they're still able to tweet out. So people still saying it is still on the ground though. So that'd be crossing. It'll be crossing Crowley's Ridge right about now, and then soon it'll be coming off the ridge and back into kind of the flat farmland there east of the ridge as you go towards I-555 and eventually towards the St. Francis River.
All right, I'm trying to get You know, there's some people saying that this has been on the ground since north of Grubbs. For the most part, is when it first touched down. There's a picture here. I'm going to retweet it here from our sister station down in Little Rock. What I'm doing here, guys, I'm pausing right now because I'm trying to read some of the reports that are coming in and taking a drink of water. Okay. And I'm also getting, looks to be a video maybe from Rayborn Road. Yeah, there's the picture. That was north of Grubbs.
Yeah, that was earlier back when we had a view of it on our live stream. So,
all right, stand by just a minute, guys. I'm trying to look at some. Oh, good grief.
from Sheriff Mulder there out of Poinsett County. Claypool, the house that they got damaged, they said there's extensive damage and even could be leveled there if it took a direct hit from that tornado. They have cars turned over at a house in a rural area, and they've called ambulances to that area for injuries. And Sheriff Mulder says to just keep taking this storm seriously, as it's still showing signs that it could be destructive as it continues now to move past the Harrisburg area and closer to the Mark Tree, Tyronza area with that new tornado warning. Lepanto, you're in the tornado warning, but you're kind of more in the heavy rain hail threat area for now. We'll watch and see if that changes. The current trajectory is going to take this down I-555 there at the bend before you cross all of those bridges. I think the speed limit drops down to about 65 instead of 70. There are those highway signs that warn you about slow-moving farm equipment, and you cross about those series of bridges over those ditches. So that's about where that tornado is going to meet up with the interstate and then go just south of that near the Mark Tree area. So that's kind of where we're watching for, and then eventually continue down I-555 towards Tyronza and down where it meets I-55.
All right, I did get some good news just now. Hearing some radio traffic from a friend that says Harrisburg is okay. It looks like it may have just passed north of Harrisburg, went east there. As of 3 minutes ago, it is still on the ground. City officer says Harrisburg is clear and has moved to the east now. If there's going to be some damage, it's going to be just to the north of Harrisburg. Guys, two things. Hey, Aaron joins us now. Aaron Castleberry, meteorologist Aaron Castleberry in Harrisburg. Aaron, what are you seeing?
Well, right now I just turned north on Highway 1 off of 14. As I was coming up to the intersection of Highway 1 and 14, I did see an ambulance and a police car turn north onto Highway 1 headed back towards the north. So I'm now Harrisburg looks like it's fine. Harrisburg proper, and I'm already getting close to where you turn off to go to the Poinsett County Sheriff's Office. Right now, there's a little bit of leaf debris that's around, and I ran into that also when I was back on Highway 49 at the Craighead Poinsett County line. You can see where that storm came through for about a mile, a lot of leaf debris along the road. But right now, Harrisburg looks like it's okay all the way. I'm at the turnoff to the Poinsett County Sheriff's Office. Looks like that's okay at the moment. But as I head north, I'm still trying to catch up to that, to those lights. They're just about a mile ahead of me. I'm behind some traffic headed north now on Highway 1, and that's probably not going to be a good idea for a lot of people going back towards Jonesboro right now if that storm passed over the highway.
Tell you what,
there's a lot of people now trying to head north on Highway 1 towards Jonesboro.
Aaron, I want you to continue looking around there. From what you're telling me, Harrisburg in the center, that was close. That was really close, but it sounds like they are fine for the most part. We still need to check that north side there. If you do see anything, feel free to chime in, interrupt me when you see something. We'll stay with you there. I also, guys in the back, if we can, I just now retweeted a video that was sent to me when it was on Rayborn Road. Rayborn Road is in Poinsett County, and and it kind of connects Highway 1 over to Highway 49, and it is a scary looking video, and I hope that that tornado did stay over open field, because it was, here it is, look at this. If you see the lightning flashes here, you'll get an idea. That's some taillights also in the distance. That's a big tornado. And that was near Rayborn Road. I've been out there a time or two. There are some houses here and there, and I'm sure the deputies are out there checking on it right now. But that's what we're dealing with right now. And that is some scary nighttime video to watch going through Poinsett County. Let's go back to radar right now, and this is what we're watching. It is starting to show signs, I hope, of falling apart a little bit. Let's go to the Mark Tree weather camera. It sits right here, and we will look back in that direction and wait for a lightning strike. And I see some police there in the distance. So you see that? And maybe they're just watching for it right now.
I think we're still looking a little bit further to the south. So I think the storm is behind that metal there on the right side of the screen, and so.
Pan it just to the left a little bit. See what those police are doing. Trey Stafford is from that area, and he said that's looking north. See the big white grain elevator? That is north. And I think what the police are doing right there is they're trying to make sure everybody knows to take cover. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah. And there is one stop there, so he may be kind of spotting while the other one kind of goes through town and warns residents of the tornado warning.
All right, I'm not seeing anything right now. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to radar. Keep watching that one closely. Just glancing at radar, and I want to switch back over here. And I'm just hoping at some point soon here. Looks like I lost connection. Stand by. Hopefully soon this just starts falling apart a little bit. So once again, tornado warning continues. They have not extended it farther down to the south just yet. It still has that little appendage. So if there is anything there, it's going to be right here, right there. We're about to start getting into the rain though anyway, so we're not going to see anything on that camera. But just went through the Weona Junction area. It's going through the Stewart area. Hopefully here in a minute we can get a report from Skywarn down there. They are watching this storm. In fact, let me see. All right, so Skywarn's going to call me here in just a minute. I'm sure they're busy right now. Just went through the Weona Junction area. It's crossing over kind of the spillways going through there. About to cross over the river here shortly. It is going to pass south of Mark Tree. Mark Tree seeing rain right now. And then there's the Poinsett County line road. Let me see if I get any report of it. All right, not getting any report just yet. All right, are you hearing anything from the Weather Service? If there's anything, it's going to be crossing over County Road 297 right now. Not looking quite as impressive on radar, but there's still something there. Right through here, right at Lock and Dam Road.
They're still kind of splitting shifts between this storm, and they've got storms in Tennessee with severe thunderstorm warnings. So a lot of the chatter has been about Tennessee, but they're still kind of relaying. I've been relaying the damage reports to them as we've got them from Sheriff Mulder there about the damage north and northwest of the Harrisburg area. Yeah, that storm's very close to Mark Tree.
Now, I know Sheriff Mulder's probably busy right now. Hopefully we can get in contact with him in just a minute. We got storms continuing in Clay County and Greene County. No warnings with them. Severe thunderstorm warnings over here in Tennessee. And I will say, maybe I'm just being optimistic here, but it looks like this is starting to hopefully die out a little bit as far as the tornado. Let's see if we can get any report of somebody that's on the ground there right now. Here in just a minute, we're going to get a report from Skywarn, but just hearing from some of my friends that are on the radios right now and on the scanners, Harrisburg did miss Harrisburg. Notice the police there on our weather camera and marked tree.
Rain's picking up.
And it does look like the threat's going to pass south of Mark Tree right now. What we're hoping to get here, Sheriff Mulder is busy right now, of course, with the storm. Yes, it has passed through Harrisburg, but he still has the rest of the county for it to go through. J. Paul Woods with Skywarn. I was just with him the other day with disaster relief out of Jonesboro. Their group of Skywarns out watching this storm also. But they're busy right now. As soon as this storm moves out, we will get in contact with them and see exactly what is going on, because we know we got a lot of people in Craighead County, in Greene County, and surrounding counties that may have family and friends here in Poinsett County wanting to know if everybody's okay. And what would be really, really good is if that tornado stayed over open fields. Now, we did have one report. Did we have a report of a trailer that was hit, though, didn't we?
I think, earlier. I haven't heard anything more on that, no.
Okay. Notice how that appendage now is detached off of the main storm. That's kind of interesting. So if there's something there, it's going to be right there, but it does look like it's falling apart a little bit. Let's take the Mark Tree camera up full for just a minute. If you don't mind, and slowly pan left from it. And let's wait for a lightning strike here. So that's looking over Interstate 555 right now. Let's wait for a lightning strike to illuminate the sky. What I'm hoping, just looking at radar here, is I'm hoping this thing is finally pulled up. And let's look for any power flashes or anything. It's very hard to see things at night, but if we can see some transformers flashing or something, that would. Is it me, Zach? There's usually lights out that direction right there, isn't there?
That's back towards the curve where the interstate hits the tracks and kind of curves back down toward Tyronza, back towards I-55.
Okay, all right.
So the lights I think you're thinking about are back where we had it. I think that's 118 to the south. I think I've lost control. There it goes. Those are the lights I think you're thinking of down Highway 118 that goes south. The connection's not very good, so it may kind of jump around for a second.
All right.
There we go. Those lights down there, down that highway,
Okay.
That's 118
Right.
that goes south of the city. Or, excuse me, 149, not 118. That's Highway 149.
So I'm going to look back at radar for just a second. I'm starting to wonder if the Weather Service will continue this or not. Being that we haven't had reports here in just a little bit. We'll hear from Skywarn in just a minute to see if they're going to continue. But, I mean, right now they got the warning all the way down into Crittenden County. So
And it's still got about 20 minutes left on it.
Yeah, they've got it covered pretty good. So we're coming up now on 9 o'clock. Once again, I want to give you a wide perspective. I like the fact that we haven't had a report of it on the ground. I believe in, let's see, about 10, 15 minutes or so, about 15 minutes we haven't had it on the ground, at least any reports of it on the ground. Storms continue riding the Missouri-Arkansas line. We've got storms in Clay and Greene County unwarned, no warning on those. Okay, Sheriff Mulder's on the phone, and Sheriff Mulder, I hope you got some good news for us, man.
I don't. We have damage in outside of Harrisburg. In Harrisburg, we have a house on Claypool that has been basically leveled. We have injuries. We have other house damage. We've got. This is a very powerful storm. It's moving across, and it's everywhere we're going. We're seeing damage. So we've got units out. We do hope that people stay out clear from it. It's like I said, it's very powerful.
Sheriff Mulder, have you heard here in the past few minutes if it's still on the ground south of Mark Tree?
I have not heard. I have units that way, headed that way to check to see if they can find it. We located it when it was outside of Wiener, and we have not seen it since about 15 minutes ago. So we have units though looking as we speak.
All right, Sheriff Mulder, I appreciate that update. we're praying for you guys and praying for you through the rest of the evening, and we appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, so once again, that was Sheriff Mulder out of Poinsett County, and he is reporting damage. He is reporting a house sustained heavy damage, and this is continuing to move down the southeast now. He was saying that he did not have eyes on the storm right now, and if there's something there, it's going to be right there. And I tell you, let me look at something here. I was wondering if that was debris that was there, but it doesn't look like that's the case. No, that isn't. That's rain right there still, so that's good.
Visibility on our Mark tree cameras has gone downhill as that heavy rain kind of sets in. So even though it's high up, we may not get a great look at this, but at least we can see down the lights there on Highway 149. So if power's cut or if we get some power flashes, that'll be signs that it is still on the ground. But so far, just heavy rain and a lot of lighting there in the Mark Tree area.
All right. I'm looking to see if we have anything new. My Twitter feed is stand by. Trying to see if we have any other reports, guys. All right, they're going to let this tornado warning expire here in a minute. All right, so this storm, if you have just joined us here in the past half hour, produced very large hail. Numerous hail reports started rotating around Jackson County and put down a tornado. Okay, let's go to the video that Aaron had first. We were sitting there covering the storm, and I looked up in the corner, and this is where meteorologist Aaron Castleberry was with the tornado there in the distance. And boy, it caught my eye. They put that video up in the corner, and he was right there behind the storm. This was between 67 and 226. And Aaron kind of followed back behind this storm as it was continuing moving down to the southeast. And then we had just continued to have eyes on that storm all the way through Poinsett County. Still not exactly sure where it went through Harrisburg. Kind of looked like it went just to the north. It may have narrowed up. It may have gotten a little smaller from just judging off the path there. And by the way, if we have Aaron, Aaron's down there in Harrisburg right now. I wouldn't mind hearing from him also. We heard from Sheriff Mulder. We do have damage. We do have injuries. Aaron saw ambulances. All right, Aaron Castleberry, meteorologist Aaron Castleberry joins us now. Aaron, where are you at and what are you seeing right now?
I believe I'm pulling up on the damage area. There's a lot of first responders and fire, sheriff's deputies, state police is out here. I'm off of Rayburn Road. I'm off of a different county road. I'm not really sure which road it is, but it's south of Rayburn Road. There are down power lines and house just I'm fixing to get out and see what I can figure. Yeah, I believe I'm at a house. I don't see the house there anymore.
Aaron, do you see any? So you're not even sure. You can't tell the damage. So am I hearing you correctly in that the damage is so bad you can't tell what type of building it is?
Not necessarily, because it's really dark out here. I can't tell what it's. I'm on a backdrop of a lot of blue lights, so but I can see that there are some power lines down, and I can see what may be a carport. But I'm gonna let these people drive by, and I'll get out and see what I can see here in just a couple of seconds.
All right. All right, we're going to come back to Aaron here in just a little bit. We do have some good news to pass along. The National Weather Service is going to allow this tornado warning to expire. The storm is losing its characteristics of a tornado. We're getting new radar scans coming in right now, and I don't see anything of concern there right now. So, kind of going back to what we were recapping, and we were showing you just a little bit ago. So, Aaron saw the tornado there coming out of Jackson County and going into Poinsett County. I believe it was Poinsett County. Or was it still in Craighead County then? I guess it was officially in Craighead County, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Craighead County, and then went down into Poinsett County. And I think this thing probably was on the ground from maybe Jackson County. We've got pictures of it on the ground, Jackson, on the ground in Craighead, on the ground in Poinsett County, and unfortunately, it does sound like we have had some damage to some homes and also some injuries. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Amanda Hanson is on standby right now also. I'm not sure where our crews are setting up right now, but you can kind of give us a game plan on coverage between now and 10 o'clock. I'm going to give everybody real fast one last look at radar, kind of widen everybody out. This is about to start coming out of Region 8 with a severe thunderstorm warning. We still have storms in Greene County, Clay County, up in Randolph County. None of these are severe right now. But we will have to watch those also. Let me just, before we go back, let me just make sure we're not missing anything here. Just kind of glancing at these. I don't see anything of concern. These still have a lot of lightning with them, but so far we're looking good right now. Yes.
Whenever you say it's clear to go off, we're going to go off. We have 3 crews in Harrisburg and at the Claypool Reservoir.
Okay.
Where the home has been damaged. We'll be having live updates definitely at 10, if not before that.
Okay, here's the game plan, guys. The severe weather, the tornado threat is going away. Severe thunderstorm warnings are going over Tennessee. These are about to move out also. They have weakened. These are just thunderstorms. No warnings with them right now. What I'm hoping is that we don't have to come back in with any weather updates. However, our game plan is we have 3 crews that are heading into Poinsett County right now. We are going to check out everything that's going on. That will be our top story at 10 o'clock. There is a chance that we are going to break back into regular programming for the follow-up of this tornado also. So once again, a tornado has once again gone through Region 8, started up in Jackson and Craighead County, and has been on the ground through a good part of Poinsett County, but it has now ended. Severe thunderstorm warning now as the storm starts to move out. We're going to rejoin regular programming, and we are going to be back with you for Region 8 News at 10 o'clock, if not before, as we get crews down into Poinsett County and get as much information for you. For those of you that have family in Poinsett County, we're going to find out exactly what is going on, and we'll bring you that information coming up on Region 8 News at 10.
And hospitalization.